Hey there, folks, settle in, because I've got a story that'll make your blood boil and your heart cheer, all in the span of a single mountain sunset. Picture this. Me, Jake Harlan, a guy who spent 2 decades hauling survey gear through deserts and jungles for Uncle Sam, finally buying my slice of heaven 800 acres of rugged Colorado rock, pine, and elk trails, a place called Blackridge Hollow. I thought I'd found peace, but then the Pineview Homeowners Association decided my land was their playground. And let me tell you, it turned my sanctuary into a war zone. I'd been on Blackridge a little over a year, just me and my two mutts, Rusty and Sage, when I decided to put up a gate. Nothing crazy, just a solid steel frame, gravel turnaround, and a keypad lock I welded myself. After years of dodging trespassing hunters and lost city folks in jeeps, I wanted my line in the dirt clear. This is mine, stay out. The gate went up on a Wednesday, and by Sunday, I'm sipping coffee when I spot a manila folder jammed in my mailbox. No stamp, just a fancy header screaming Pineview Community Association. The letter inside? Pure audacity. Your property falls within our scenic and ecological corridor. It read, so kindly provide 3 sets of keys and gate codes for our events, conservation checks, and future development. Signed, Sandra Whitlock, President. I nearly spat out my coffee. Down the hill, Pineview's a cluster of overpriced cabins, all beige and eco-chic, with folks who think nature's a Wi-Fi-enabled hot tub. My nature? Digging fence posts around cougar tracks. I laughed, filed the letter under "Never Gonna Happen," and fired back a response on my old USGS letterhead. Blackridge Hollow is private. Fee simple. No HOA jurisdiction, no access granted. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Dropped it in their fancy mailbox and figured that'd be the end. It wasn't. Monday morning, there's a knock at my cabin. I open the door, and there's Sandra Whitlock herself, mid-50s, blonde bob sharp enough to cut glass, wearing pristine hiking boots and clutching a clipboard like it's her lifeline. "Mr. Harlan," she says, all syrupy. "Harlan," I correct, leaning on the doorframe. "You write that nonsense?" She doesn't blink. "I'm Sandra, Pineview's president. We just want a neighborly partnership to protect our shared scenic interface." Scenic interface? I squint. "You mean you can see my gate if you crane your neck from your deck?" She smiles like I've offered her a cookie. "Exactly. That view's part of our community's charm. You wouldn't want to ruin that, would you?" I cross my arms. "Lady, I own this land. Your HOA's got no claim, no easement, no nothing. Unless you're buying my mountain cash up front. We're done." Her smile tightens. "We'll see what the county says." She struts off, and I'm left staring at Pineview's cookie-cutter rooftops, feeling like I've just met a snake in boots. 2 days later, my gate's motion sensor pings. I pull up the camera feed, and there's a muddy ATV with 3 Pineview folks middle-aged, decked in logo polos parked right at my gate. One guy, slathered in sunscreen, jabs at the keypad like it owes him money. A woman points past the gate, yammering about a community trail. I hit the speaker. "You're on private property. Leave now." They freeze. Sunscreen guy yells, "This is HOA access." Sandra says the trail's ours. I grin. "Sandra's wrong, and you're on camera. Sheriff's coming. You've got 10 minutes. The woman starts filming me while the third guy, clutching a clipboard, mutters about shared pathways. I call the sheriff, and by the time I roll down in my truck, Deputy Tom Riley's there, boots older than Pineview itself. He chats them up, calm as a summer breeze, and issues trespass warnings. As they peel out, I wave. "Tell Sandra the mountain's not for sale." Clipboard guy glares. "She's got maps." I raise an eyebrow. "I've got deeds and federal surveys." Good luck. I thought the sheriff's visit would cool things off, but Sandra wasn't the retreating type. She was the double-down kind. 3 days later, a county jeep pulls up, and a guy in khakis hands me a court summons. Pineview's suing for emergency access and a boundary review, claiming my gate's harming their community with a doctored map that redraws my access road as their scenic stewardship zone. It's a Photoshop joke, complete with a fake stamp. I've read maps for a living, so I know it's garbage, but it's bold. I call up my old buddy, Carl Dempsey, a cadastral engineer who chews HOA lawyers for fun. "This is fraud," he says, scanning the filing. "That map's a felony waiting to happen. We countersue for fraud, forgery, and encroachment, backing it with my federal survey some I signed myself back in the day. Carl's drone maps every boundary pin, and we send it all to the sheriff. Then Sandra goes nuclear. At 2 a.m., my phone blares gate alarm. I check the feed, and there she is, hooded, wielding a cordless jackhammer like she's auditioning for a crime flick. Sparks fly as she smashes the keypad, muttering curses. My system's built tough alarms ping the sheriff instantly. I grab my rifle for comfort, not use, and wait. Deputies roll up, lights blazing, and catch her mid-rampage. She's cuffed, jackhammer bagged as evidence, her face blank like she's sleepwalking. Deputy Tom shakes his head. Got her on vandalism, trespass, maybe federal charges if your gate's AG protected. I nod. It is. Filed last year. He smirks. She's toast. The arrest cracks Pineview open. My inbox fills with emails from residents, some mad, some sorry. One gem from a guy named Greg in Unit 9. Sandra acted alone. I'm voting her out. I pinned it to my fridge. At her preliminary hearing, Sandra's lawyer spins a tale of fiduciary duty to protect historic trails. My lawyer, Rachel Voss, slaps that down with Carl's drone footage, my surveys, and a whistleblower's tip. Sandra siphoned $15,000 in HOA funds for fake surveys. The judge shuts her injunction down, calling it imaginary jurisdiction built on fraud. Rachel piles on, filing for malicious prosecution and fund misappropriation. Sandra's jaw twitches cornered. But she doesn't quit. A week later, I find a laminated Pineview notice nailed to my fence, claiming my lands under ecological review for their preservation zone. I rip it down, call Tom, and add it to the file. Residents start talking. A finance gal, Lisa, calls me. Sandra forged my signature on a contract. I'll testify. More come forward, a treasurer, a contractor who says Sandra paid him cash to plant fake boundary flags. The HOA's imploding, and Sandra's lawsuit against her board for abandoning her only tightens the noose. Discovery exposes her emails. We can muscle this guy. County records are soft. It's a gold mine. The trial's a slaughter. Prosecutors play Sandra's jackhammer rampage on loop, show her emails, and parade witnesses. The jury's back in 2 hours, guilty on 5 counts, 2 felonies. She's cuffed on the spot, bail revoked. At sentencing, she gets 6 months in county, 5 years probation, and a ban from HOA rolls. Pineview settles my civil suit for $120,000, plus a public apology mailed to every resident. Jake Harlan's land was never ours. We were wrong. I used the cash to build a timber wall, upgrade my gate, and turn my barn into a land rights workshop, teaching ranchers how to fight HOAs. Folks drive from Montana, even Idaho, to learn. Sandra skips town, changes her name, and vanishes. Pineview's under county control, half its residents pushing to dissolve it. I walk my ridgeline every spring, GPS in hand, the sun hitting my land like it knows the fight I won. Justice isn't loud, it's quiet, like wind through pines, and it feels damn good. But here's the kicker. Was Sandra just a power-hungry nut? Or did Pineview's whole system breed this mess? I'm curious what you think. Drop a comment. Have you dealt with an HOA gone wild? Or is this just mountain madness? Hit that like button, share this story, and let's talk about where the line gets drawn.